I froze when I saw my husband standing in that hotel lobby. The text came through at 6:42 p.m., right as I was tightening my tie in the bathroom mirror of a downtown hotel. "I'm running late. Don't wait up." It was from my wife, Claire. I stared at the message longer than I should have, not because it was unusual, she'd been running late a lot lately, but because of where I was standing when it arrived. The hum of the hotel lobby drifted up through the open bathroom window. Luggage wheels rattled across marble floors. Someone laughed. Someone else argued softly into a phone. And then I stepped out of the bathroom, glanced down from the second-floor railing and froze. Because standing near the check-in desk, in a charcoal coat I knew as well as my own hands, was my husband. Except I was the husband. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might actually pass out. He stood with his back half-turned, phone pressed to his ear, smiling in that small, private way he only ever did when he was trying not to show too much emotion. I knew that smile. I'd practiced it in mirrors my whole adult life. It was my smile. But the truth hit me a second later, sharp and undeniable. That wasn't me. That was Claire's lover. It took weeks for me to understand how I'd ended up there, how denial slowly gave way to suspicion, then dread, then the kind of clarity that hurts worse than ignorance ever could. Looking back, the signs were embarrassingly subtle. Claire had always been independent. She worked late, traveled occasionally for her firm, valued her space. I loved that about her. I told myself that love meant trust, not surveillance. That real marriages didn't need constant reassurance. So when she started keeping her phone face down, I told myself it meant nothing. When she stopped sharing details about her day, I figured she was stressed. When she started dressing differently for work dinners, I told myself I was being insecure. Even the missed calls, I blamed those on bad timing. Meetings. Dead batteries. Life. The only thing I couldn't explain was the distance. She laughed less. Touched me less. When I kissed her goodbye in the mornings, it felt like muscle memory instead of affection. At night, she lay just far enough away that our bodies didn't accidentally touch. I noticed. I felt it. But I didn't want to know why. The first real crack came on a Sunday afternoon. We were folding laundry together. One of those boring domestic rituals that used to make me feel safe. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She was in the other room. I didn't mean to look. I swear that's true. But I saw the name before I could stop myself. M. Just one letter. No last name. No context. Just intimacy in its most minimal form. The message preview was worse. Still thinking about last night. My chest tightened. I felt heat rise up my neck. That primal fight-or-flight reaction you don't expect from something as quiet as a phone vibrating. When she came back in, smiling like nothing was wrong, I asked casually, "Who's M?" She didn't miss a beat. "Work stuff," she said. "Client." Too fast. Too smooth. I nodded like I believed her. Inside something shifted. After that, I started noticing everything. Her phone never left her hand. Password changed. She took calls in the car. Texted in the bathroom. Smiled at her screen in ways she no longer smiled at me. I hated myself for checking her laptop one night after she fell asleep. But I hated not knowing more. The messages weren't explicit. That almost made them worse. Inside jokes. Late-night check-ins. Emotional intimacy that had no business belonging to someone else. I felt stupid. Angry. Heartbroken. And still I waited. Because part of me hoped I was wrong. The business trip came out of nowhere. 2 nights, she said, tossing clothes into a suitcase. Client meetings. Boring stuff. I watched her pack, feeling like a stranger in my own house. After she left, the silence was unbearable. That's when I did something I never thought I would. I booked a room at the same hotel. I told myself it was about closure. About truth. About needing to see things with my own eyes. What I didn't expect was how ordinary betrayal would look. Which brings me back to the lobby. The man who looked like me finished his call and turned slightly. I saw his face clearly then. Different eyes. Different jawline. Same posture. Same coat. Same age. I suddenly understood. She wasn't replacing me with someone better. She was replacing me with someone familiar. I watched as Claire walked in moments later, suitcase rolling behind her. She smiled when she saw him. A real smile. The kind I hadn't seen in months. They didn't kiss. They didn't touch. They just stood close, shoulders nearly brushing, sharing a quiet moment that told me everything I needed to know. That was the moment something inside me finally broke. I confronted her that night. Not screaming. Not dramatic. Just honest. "I know," I said, sitting on the edge of the bed while she stood near the window. "I saw you." She didn't deny it. She cried. Apologized. Said she never meant for it to go this far. Said she felt lonely. Unseen. Said it just happened. I listened. And for the first time I understood something painful but freeing. Her reasons explained her choices. They didn't excuse them. The aftermath was quiet. No explosive fights. No slammed doors. Just long conversations that went nowhere. Memories that now felt tainted. And the slow realization that love doesn't survive without trust. I moved out 2 weeks later. She asked if we could try counseling. If we could rebuild. I told her maybe someday. But not now. Because self-respect has a sound, and for me it was the click of my suitcase rolling away across the pavement. Sometimes I still think about that hotel lobby. How life-changing moments don't always announce themselves with drama. Sometimes they arrive as a text. Sometimes as a smile meant for someone else. And sometimes they arrive quietly, standing right in front of you, waiting for you to finally see the truth.